Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, bringing you an expanding library of education with even more ways to sharpen your trading skills. Access new online courses, insightful webcasts, articles, engaging videos, and more, all curated just for traders. Plus, guided learning paths with content designed to fit your unique interests. No sifting to find exactly what you need, so you can spend your time learning to trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized, so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
What does that mean?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
We need the outlet for our rock tumbler.
Plug it in!
What, the rock tumbler or the TV?
The TV!
And as for you, I don't know you, but I'm sure you're a jerk. Hey, I've only been here a few minutes. What's going on?
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
Get a podcast.
So why don't all you little idiots press your faces up against the speakers and blow your brains out?
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to This Week in Geek.net Random Access Memory, or RAM. I'm Mike the Birdman, and you're not. But this is the show here on TWIG where we pretty much talk about whatever the hell we want. And well, it's Father's Day weekend. This is a chance where we get together with those parental figures that we like to look up to. Maybe we're outside grilling with dad. Maybe we're playing with golf with dad, or doing, I don't know, some other family activity that usually appears on some greeting card in Hallmark. Or hey, maybe your dad's passed, but you're looking to spend some time with your family. And we kind of got thinking, well, it's halfway through the year. And sometimes, and I kind of got this idea from Alex, he likes to take his family to the movies. That's how they bond. And well, all of us here on this podcast love to bond over movies as well. And I kind of think maybe there's a way we can combine the two to get maybe kind of a 2-for-1 out of it. And that's about as far as that thought got. So I'm joined by my fellow Guelphite, and Guelph's a finger on the virtual political pulse of this city.
Oh, I'm Adam A. Donaldson. Hello.
And of course, the host of Do You Even Movie?
David Denoyer, coming to you from Ohio.
And my good friend from the great state of New Jersey, who somehow kept me alive during gaming news last week.
Ken from the Sandmay.
All right, guys. So, like I've kind of talked about in a roundabout kind of way, didn't really kind of think about it before I started doing that introduction. It's time to talk about the best. He's prepared. Bullshit, he is. So this is something I'm actually kind of surprised, because this feels like the last 2 years or so, more since I've really been talking with like all of you, I've kind of dived headfirst into movies. I've dived headfirst into Letterboxd. I've started going to the movies as a form of therapy to just disconnect from everyone and everything for like an hour and a half. And it's been really nice just to get back out there and experience cinema. And I'm actually seeing a lot of new stuff week of release or within about a week or two thereof. So we wanted to talk about the year so far. We're about halfway through. A lot of the big blockbusters have come out so far. We've had Thunderbolts. We've had, what else do we have?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, the new Karate Kid, I would kind of consider in there as well. We've had a couple of big name flops as well. I'm looking at you, Mickey 17. And we've had some
like that movie more.
And
I think it's fine.
And we've had some unexpected hits as well. So we kind of got everybody here together to talk about what are some of the movies you've really enjoyed this year? What are some ones you wish had done better? And just kind of go around the table and just kind of talk about what's 2025 been like. so far. But before we start, we kind of made the rule in our little group chat. We don't need to talk about Sinners because that movie doesn't need us. That movie's already vastly successful. It's a fucking blast. The less you know about it, the better. Just go in, have a grand time, and just enjoy yourself for like 2 hours because you're gonna have a really good experience.
Visually, like sucking, it will suck you in so quick visually. Then the music will just carry you through it. Then when you get to the vampire violence, I mean, goddamn. I mean, you just don't see a movie like that often make big money like it did.
Like
it's a masterclass.
I had it sold to me as the Black From Dusk Till Dawn, and that really undersells it because it's so much more
but
than
also
that.
sells it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what to expect. Like in that, when I went to go see it, I saw it fairly by myself in like the middle of a Sunday afternoon, and the theater was almost empty, and there was like maybe like a couple of older ladies behind me and maybe a group of younger-ish teenagers, but everybody was super respectful towards it. And you can just tell when an auditorium's really into something. Everybody was into that. And I saw this weeks after it had come out because I was dealing with my wheelchair bullshit at that time. So I've had a chance to go to the theater a lot in the last couple of weeks. And that was one of the most enjoyable, intimate experiences I've had in a theater with a horror movie. Because a lot of horror movies, sometimes they're audience participation where they're fun and you're cheering and you're laughing, sort of like your Final Destination Bloodlines. Sinners hit different in that regard, but I had such a magical time with that. So I guess who wants to start today?
Well, let me just attach myself to Sinners by saying that there's so much going on in that movie, it shouldn't work on any level. Like, there's so much thematically, there's so much, like, different tones.
There's a lot of big swings.
There
a lot
are
of big
so
swings.
many big swings.
Yeah.
So many big swings. The fact that it's as coherent as it is a minor miracle. The fact that you get so deeply into it as you do.
Well, and this isn't a spoiler, but the fact that you give a mid-credit scene with serious plot development, and people have been like, "Well, I put my coat on and I've left. I'm not going to know what's going to happen."
That's right.
that part, that mid-credit scene, I was like, did I just see a secret blank movie? I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. That part had me so excited. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool, because that blank used to play all the time near me when I was in college. I remember concerts being advertised, and I don't want to say who it is because it was really kind of out of nowhere, but I was like, it really sucked me in. Like, it made that movie so much more enriching for me. Did not see that coming, and it was such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. I might as well start because I've got some wide swings.
Okay.
So this movie, very independent, like super independent. I was only able to see the one screening at 10:30 at night. And that was Queen of the Ring. It is now available to rent on premium VOD. And I highly recommend it. This is one of those biopics that's a period piece, and it really is pushing its budget to the limit, because you can tell it's very low budget and it's not necessarily succeeding at being the period piece that it is because of its budget.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does have is an amazing cast. So you've got Emily Bett Richards is the lead. Josh Lucas is the antagonist, I would say, sort of. You've got Tyler Posey. Walter Goggins is in it as like a small role.
This sounds wild. Like, I just read the description. Like, this sounds really good.
Yeah. You've got what's her name from Daredevil?
And Wolf.
Deborah Ann Wolf.
Yes. And it's about the formation of what became female wrestling.
That sounds cool. I'd watch that.
Yeah. And like, seriously, if you don't watch this movie and say, Emily Beth Richardson, James Gunn, cast her as Wonder Woman, god damn it.
I just need to interject here because I just looked up the director, Ash Avildsen.
Yep.
Fucking directed a movie that I have to just talk about real quick called American Satan from 2017 that is basically a Hot Topic after-school special with the lead singer of Black Veil Brides and Malcolm McDowell as the devil. And you do with that what you will. It is a terrible movie, but I love this movie so much, and it deserves someone else to watch it so I can talk about it, goddammit.
Also, this movie, Avildsen, from what all I can tell, he distributed it himself.
Is he the son of John?
Yes, it is.
The guy that directed, so it's the guy that directed. So the guy that directed Karate Kid, it's his son. That totally makes sense.
Yes.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like, he distributed it himself, which explains why it was so limited release. In fact, it didn't even get a theatrical release in Canada, apparently. But now it's on premium VOD. Highly recommend it. It's worth the money to rent or buy, like, legitimately.
All right. Well, I want to hear what Adam has to say, because you and I have the same pool of movies to generally access from, but you have a radio show where you talk about a lot of recent stuff. So
Yes.
what do you got?
I'm going to go full film snob and go with Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag, which is a spy movie of sorts. Oh, yes. It's kind of it's kind of a chamber drama, considering the film begins and ends with uncomfortable dinner parties. But it's Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett. They are both agents of some nameless intelligence agency in London. They're a married couple. They have an interesting relationship because I think she's a little bit further ahead, or that she has access to more sensitive information than he does. So there's a lot of compartmentalization in their marriage, which you kind of get the impression is kind of a kink for them, that they both have to be suspicious of one another while also being madly in love with each other, as they are. Both Fassbender and
Mr.
Blanchett.
and Mrs. Smith-esque.
It is. Like Fassbender and Blanchett are both at like their maximum hotness in this as well, which makes the film work. It's one of those spy movies that's about suspicion and trust and living on the extremes of those emotions while being paranoid, and it's also got this great kind of Pierce Brosnan is in it. He's the boss of the division or something. He's like a middle management type, and it's the scene that sticks out to me. It's this great scene where Fassbender goes to give Blanchett something. She's in a meeting with the Brosnan character, and so she comes out takes the thing, goes back into the meeting, and then Fassbender and Brosnan are just kind of staring at each other, and then Brosnan clicks this button that turns the glass in the conference room to the frost. It's this glass that frosts, or it's anyway. It's such like a dick power move. It's so perfect, and it's because it's Pierce Brosnan, who used to be James Bond 20 years ago, that kind of gives it a little extra dickishness. Which, yeah, it's just it's kind of a chef's roles. Oh, he's great. He's great. I don't think Pierce Brosnan has ever been bad. I don't think I've.
I agree.
He's been in bad movies, but he himself has never been bad. But yeah, I love it. It's I love these like, who do you trust, who don't you trust, and I mean, it's pretty obvious. At least to me, I'm not the smartest tool, the sharpest tool in the shed, as it were. But there are a lot of good fake outs and things, but I do like, and it's also a tight 90 minutes too. Bring back 90-minute running times. Oh yeah. Is my motto. But yeah, it's got drama, it's got tension, it's got humor. Everybody is so sexy in it. Black Bag, I think it's pretty much regular VOD right now. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but
it's streaming on Peacock here in the States.
Is it indeed? Well, there you go. You'll have to I guess subscribe to Peacock. I don't know how our listeners might feel about that, but other than that, it is.
Well, they're doing a deal, as far as I know, that it's like 2/3, like 75% off for a year.
Oh, nice.
It's like 25 when it's normally 75 or something.
I
don't know.
That sounds like a Peacock deal to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like they need people to actually subscribe.
You know what it sounds like?
And then forget about it.
You know what it sounds
and then get a $75 charge.
No, you're right. But you know what it sounds like? That I don't know if anyone here is old enough to remember when Adam Sandler was on SNL and he was the Hurley boy. It's won't you let me sleep?
I know the Hurley boy front to back. That sketch is so golden.
Won't you let me sleep in your basement? Please let
Just
me sleep
let the boys sleep in your bed.
I mean, this is like Peacock. It's like, could you just subscribe to Peacock? It's not so bad. There's some good stuff on
they need a Chris Farley father figure to be like, just get it, watch the movies. You could enjoy yourself with watching trash TV. Just subscribe to Peacock.
We got all the Law and Orders. What more do you want?
Oh my god! My favorite part of the Hurley Boy sketch is when he uses the Chris Farley hands gesture that everybody knows, and he's just like, "For the love of God, can we quit this back and forth? You vicious bastards!"
The best part is when he kicks off the one and he goes, "Can we quit this cruel
game?" Oh my god! Yeah. But yeah, no, Peacock. I'll throw my ring in on the next one, but I'll also close on Peacock with saying, movie selection's not bad at Halloween time. They do curate a nice horror selection for sure.
I mean, it's Universal. It would make sense.
And also, like I said, I watch my trash TV. That's how I keep up with the only Bravo show I like, called Below Deck. And yes, I've watched all 10 of the original seasons, and including all the original spin-offs as well now.
You and my wife are going to get along so well.
Bravo is the only thing that they didn't spin off of their cable networks.
Yeah, that's very, very fucking true.
That is telling.
So actually, with keeping in mind for horror, I'll give my next one. Give the next one, and I'm gonna throw my hat in for Christopher Landon's 2025 Drop, and I think Drop from Blumhouse has the absolute inner makings of a newer age Hitchcock film that hits on every level, and it is getting a little bit of unfair hate because it's Blumhouse, and I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for Blumhouse as well. If you like movies that are insane and original, they are a pretty good studio to go with. They don't always have winners. I mean, I know a lot of people hated Afraid, the AI movie. I personally found it a little bit of fun, but yeah, it's not great. But Blumhouse does something that I really respect, and that is they do these low budget horror shots in the dark of taking a chance, by having these low budgets, and they end up making good. Like Drop's financially successful, so I'm happy that it actually did well. But word of mouth on it's a little unfair. But Drop is the story of a woman who is going on a blind date, coming out of an abusive relationship. And she's going on a blind date to this restaurant that one could describe as the Sky Needle restaurant at the beginning of Final Destination Bloodlines. It is high up, it's all glass, and she meets her blind date, everything's going well, and then starts getting these airdrops in the restaurant to her phone that basically instructs her that by the end of this date, she needs to kill her date, and otherwise the secret gunmen that have snuck into her house that she can see on the cameras in her house via her phone are going to kill her daughter or her son and her sister. And the movie is just really, really good. Like a good movie should be. It's 95 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. It has an insane ending that you can't predict. I had an absolute blast with this movie, and I mean, it is exactly the perfect kind of movie where you can turn off your brain and follow along with the character who learns things as you do. Like, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's what
Christopher Landon, the director, I mean, he's the guy that also brought you like Happy Death Day, Freaky. So I mean, you got a good dude on camera.
Landon's been hitting it out of the park for a while.
One of the movies that I'm going to highlight, and this is something I wish I'd seen in theaters, but I don't remember a lot of advertising for it, but I got sent this for review a couple of weeks ago on the main show. So the movie came out in theaters in January, right at the ass end. And I'm talking about the movie Companion. I knew nothing about this movie going into it, and that's what made it outstanding to me. So this movie stars Sophie Thatcher, who was most recently in Heretic, Jack Quaid, he's in everything. He was in Novocaine this year. He was in one of the Scream movies. He's Jack Boimler from Star Trek Lower Decks. He's from The Boys, Huey. So he's been everywhere. So go into this movie, and it's about a young couple who goes away on a holiday retreat, as most young couples in love do. And shenanigans ensue. And I don't want to spoil it because its twist when it gets there is so much fun. And Sophie Thatcher's very quickly becoming one of my favorite actors. Like, I really enjoy the performances that she's really been able to put out. Like, I loved her in Heretic. Heretic was one of my also unexpected joys from last year. I really had a good time with that one. I showed it to my friend Liam a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, did not expect it to go like that. I'm like, I know, right? And going into Companion, I loved every minute of this. And it's weird because this feels like they're really trying to make Jack Quaid something, and I think he's got potential to be a leading man. I just don't know if he's there yet. It's different in The Boys because he's playing off against so many other actors, and when you play against Carl Urban, good luck. You just
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
He's very unconventionally leading man material.
Yeah, like he'll get there someday.
He just needs a perfect script.
Yeah,
and a perfect director to bring him the ultimate role.
Like, yeah, I think
sadly it wasn't Novocaine.
Yeah,
it wasn't Novocaine, but it was still good.
It was
fun.
It was fun. I guess Novocaine for me was just a movie that I just really wanted to like more than I did. But I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like my big thing about Companion is I'm gonna recommend it. It's definitely worth a VOD. 100% worth $5 if you
Yes,
can rent it.
absolutely.
Yes. Period.
As for buying it, I would say in terms of its special feature, it's not a bad disc, actually. It's got just the right amount. I wish there was maybe a little bit more, but if you like it after watching it on VOD, this is a great movie to spring on friends. This is a great date movie.
Yeah. This is one of those movies you just go, "Hey, have you seen Companion?" No. Well, we're watching it tonight.
Exactly. Like it's such a fun date movie. I really think this would be a great movie to sit down at the cottage with. Like if you sit down, the cabin door is open, there's a warm summer breeze going through, you've just grilled a bunch of hot dogs and you're going to sit down and watch a movie with, your wife, your dad or whoever, not kids obviously, but it's a fun time, and there's some really sweet moments in it too, which I didn't really expect in it other two. It's not just a straight romance. There's a very nice gay romance in here too that I really liked. And yeah, like I really liked Companion. I cannot recommend this movie enough.
Well, and I'll say off that too, if you've seen the trailer and you think you know everything about it, you don't.
You don't.
Like
You
the
don't.
trailer definitely didn't have to give that away. However, that is
it's still first act.
It is first act. No, I'm not saying it's, but I mean, could you imagine though not knowing? Like if they would have just stuck
not
with
knowing
first
that
trailer.
The movie is kind of edited to make it feel like that wasn't spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. But yeah, if you have seen the trailer and you thought, oh, okay, well, I know everything about it, there's so many treats in that movie, and it genuinely is for one, it's a really good thinking horror film because like it has a lot of touches on questions of today, and second, it's also a solid little thriller. I mean, I cannot say enough about it. I had such a good time with it in theater.
All right, so who's going up next for their next pick?
Not everybody jump at once.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna throw this one in because we're still in the relative horror-y field, but we're going straight into the other direction in horror. Bring Her Back.
Never heard of this one.
Just came out. And
yeah, I'm dying to see it. Goddamn.
Oh Lord. If you thought Talk to Me was haunting, this is haunting her.
I've heard it guts you, and I've heard to line up a light watch after, and also that apparently it maximizes the gore to compete with Evil Dead, which I was like,
yeah,
well,
no,
it
is Evil Dead gross out practical effects.
Now
there's something with a knife, and that is all I have to say.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Exactly. I'm fucking in.
I like watching that movie. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I did not eat before this because I had to turn away at points.
Well, if we're gonna do that route, then I'm gonna throw in probably one of my top favorites for this year, which has been Heart Eyes. Heart Eyes by Josh Rubin.
Yep,
fucking treat.
That was so much fun.
So much fun. And again, I'm gonna stick with something that Adam said. 90-minute movies. Don't get me wrong. You can absolutely have your epics. You can actually absolutely have your 3-hour, your 2.5-hour movies. There are absolute deserving spots for those. But goddamn, I don't know if we just fell into the fact that we weren't going anywhere for a while, so we had all the time in the world. But I want to go to a theater and visit. I don't want to camp. So 90-minute movies right now are right in my wheelhouse. And Hard Eyes is top tier slasher, top tier Valentine's Day romantic comedy. It is just so much fun. There's great chemistry between your characters. There's a bunch of solid needle drops. Great performances by Devon Sawa and what's the female cop actress? I can't think of her name all of a sudden.
Jordan something, right?
Yeah, Jordan something. Damn it, I cannot think of her name.
Fast and the Furious lady.
Jordana Brewster.
What is it? Jordana Brewster. Yeah, Jordana Brewster. They are great in it. Just a really fun movie. And Josh Rubin as a director, he's also the guy that has brought you Werewolves Within, which I had a great time with.
Yes.
And Scare Me and Werewolves Within. If you're a horror fan and you have not seen either of those, you'll get a taste of his humor mixed with his horror and how he can balance it out really well. So this was a really solid swing and a hit for him, and I'm so happy for him because I really liked his movie so far, this one especially. So if you have not seen Hard Eyes, I think it's still on Netflix in the States right now. Cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, I saw Hard Eyes as I took myself to the movies for like a cheap movie date by myself. My wife doesn't like going to the movies so much. It's just not her kind of jam. So I saw that and Love Hurts on the same night. I think, I saw Hard Eyes and then Love Hurts same thing. Both movies have a straw kill, which is kind of hilarious. Honestly, Hard Eyes was a lot of pleasant fun. Again, really like what they did with it. Really great chemistry. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's one of the dudes from Scream.
Gooding Jr.'s son, Mason Gooding.
I really like. Yeah, I like the way his career's going. I like how just really good vibes coming off of him. So I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I might mention, I don't know if I'd call it one of my top picks of the year, but I had a lot of fun with it. I really liked Love Hurts, which is, I can never remember that guy's name.
Kwan.
Yeah.
Kwan.
So Short Round, because Kwan. He stars as a sort of like retired assassin who's like, I don't know, he's kind of like a realtor just trying to blend into everyday life, forget that his life kind of changed.
A successful realtor who's loved by everyone.
Exactly. Everybody loves Murray, or I think that's his name. And suddenly one person out of his past says, hey, we have some loose ends to tie up. Obviously turns his life upside down over the course of like probably 2 days. And it turns into like this bonkers Looney Tunes adventure sort of thing. And it's fun. I really like Ki-Hwan. Great chemistry from that guy. I think there's a lot of fun side characters in this. There's a guy called the Raven who played Bushmaster in Luke Cage season 2, who was fucking awesome.
Every time he is on screen, he steals pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, like he literally has such screen presence. Your eyes are just drawn to like him. It's really kind of fun. And it's a fun script. I mean, there are some problems with it. Like
it's a bit half-baked.
It feels very much, it feels like a throwback to those 90-minute action movies from the 1990s. That would be.
It reminded me of Showdown in Little Tokyo. Like that's the style it goes for, where it's just like, hey, here's a simple premise and here's an insane action movie. And the problem that I had with it personally is just like the chemistry of the leads just didn't do it for me. But it's a fun movie. Like I won't say that it's not a fun movie. It's absolutely like a good popcorn and 6-pack flick.
Oh yeah, totally worth it to stream. Don't know if it's worth renting, but definitely worth a stream for sure.
I have to take us. Well, I have to take us back to horror for a sec because I was my one of my other.
Oh, we never left. We've never left.
Fair enough. I want to put in praise for the monkey. It seemed like it came and went, but
yeah, it did, and it was fun.
It's fun. It's malicious. It's
it's so malicious.
It's fucked up.
It's messed up. Theo James, who I've kind of enjoyed for a while, he's never really kind of found his moment. He's one of these Johnny Handsome guys. But I just want to highlight him.
My issue with
go ahead.
He's great in this.
Yes, he is.
He's great in this. But when I first was introduced to him was the Divergent films, and he's a block of wood in those features.
I read the first Divergent book. It doesn't make any more sense in book form than it does in a movie. And I read a lot of the YA. Like I read all the Twilight novels. I read all the Hunger Games novels. Yeah. So I mean, if you think like Stephanie Meyer's biggest thing is that she doesn't understand rising action. I can't remember the
I don't think she understands a lot of things. Rising action's a bit kind,
but I can't.
No shade to Stephanie Meyer, but she literally said, "Vampire in the sun. What if they sparkle?"
Step into the world of power, loyalty,
and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
I don't mind that. I honestly don't mind that. At least we're trying to cook new things. But to get back to Theo James, the thing I love about him and the monkey is he's doing. I don't know if it's purposeful, if this is like intentional. I mean, he's doing a Jesse Ventura American accent. We got to get rid of the monkey.
Wrong.
You gotta get rid of the monkey.
You're not wrong. Oh my God.
Family. It's just 90 minutes of Theo James doing a Jesse Ventura impression while being scared to death of a monkey. And there's 2 Theo Jameses. I also want to shout out Tatiana Maslany for being either the most understanding mother in the world or the most terrible mother in the world. I don't know which.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Like the scene with her in the kitchen, and the 2 different versions you get of it, obviously. I just looked at her and I was just like, I don't know if I'm afraid or if I want to hug.
The image that spawned, I was like, well, that's gonna haunt my nightmares for a while.
It's that movie has so many of those. Like the final action before the credits started rolling, I was cheering in my seat. Like just when that little kid gets killed by that piano in Final Destination, it was cheering in my seat.
Yep.
We're sickos. I know.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So if you're gonna throw in on the monkey, then I have got to mention with the mention of YA novels, I've got to throw in Clown in the Cornfield. So much fun by Eli Craig, based on a great series of books by Adam Cesar. This is straight up a teen slasher that is 100% into the slasher and into the teens. Like, I mean, there is not much else going on there. I will say, if there is one beef that I have with this movie, it has some very odd drops of comedy decisions that it makes that are either for you or not for you. And to say that there were about 3 for me that were not for me. Like, I like not bad. It was just kind of like, oh, but overall, had an absolute blast with this movie, and recommend the book series as well. It's a wild fucking story.
See, I wanted to like Clown in a Cornfield a lot more. I literally saw Final Destination and Clown back to back. And I remember listening to your bit about Clown in the Cornfield because I was listening to you and Hen talk on your other podcast, Do You Even Movie? And I was going to say, oh, this sounds kind of great. I'm going to have a fantastic time with this. I didn't know this was based on books. And when I saw the movie, I will be honest, I was very disappointed. So maybe this is a case where I might enjoy the books more.
Well, or the books will bring appreciation, honestly, because like that's the one thing I will say as a fan of the books and this movie. It did do a lot for me because it did follow the book pretty well in regards to the main story. It did leave a lot of stuff out, but also it did do some nods at the end of the movie that are for the sequel, which were not at the end of the book, so they were only in the sequel. So I'm curious as to what that means, and I would love for them to continue the story. But yeah, I think if you read the books, obviously you'll have more appreciation for it. But no, I think you would like the books, Birdman. They're straight up little young adult slashers.
Yeah,
or maybe you just don't like fun.
Yeah,
I mean that could be it too. You could just be a fun sucker.
I am. I'm just that asshole. One thing, this was a movie I didn't expect to like. This one, I had zero idea what it was till literally I got sat down and like, hey, try this. And it's a movie called Locked. Has anybody here heard of this?
The one with
in my top 10.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
I've heard of
by
it.
this.
Haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, Basically, it gets locked into a car with Anthony Hopkins harassing him with Polka. And that is really underselling what it is. I didn't know this was a remake of an Argentine movie that came out back in 2019 called 4x4. And yeah, so Bill Sarsgaard is this down on his luck. He's like a guy, he's trying to do things right for his kid, and he needs money. He needs like $500 and he needs it fast. So he decides
basically I described it as Skarsgård is doing his best Pete Davidson impression.
Yeah, exactly. And he breaks into the wrong guy's car. Anthony Hopkins, he's had his car broken into multiple times. He decides the police do nothing, so he's going to take justice into his own hands. And he tortures this guy. Like, he's got tasers built into the seats. He can control the AC. The glass is bulletproof because his character has a gun. So for lack of a better description, Pete Davidson pulls a gun, shoots himself in the leg, bounces around the bullet, and he's like, what the hell? Who does that? He's like, well, I didn't want you to make this too easy. So he literally has to come by in the middle of the night, fix him up while he's passed out. And at one point, this other woman walks by the car. He's screaming, thinking she can hear him. The glass is soundproofed, and she can't hear him or nothing. At one point, he manages to hotwire the car. Nope, that's Anthony Hopkins fucking with him. And it turns into them developing kind of a relationship of them talking about their lives and where things went different. Basically, he's talking about how he's really sick, but he's a doctor and all this thing. And he's talking about how he's, a career criminal. He doesn't want to be. Then they get into this philosophical debate. Then eventually the inevitable 24-esque angle gets brought in with his daughter and everything. I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised by it because Bill Sarsgaard, to me, he's more than it. And he's more than the Crow 2024 remake. And there are parts of that movie where I like Bill Sarsgaard. Bill Sarsgaard's a guy where, like, you are on the cusp of becoming something really fucking awesome.
He's just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. He's just a fucking weirdo. And it sucks you get stuck with stupid movies. And I think this is a real step in the right direction because I was vastly entertained by this.
I mean, Birdman can't win all the time.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Yeah. My one-word sentence is Saw meets Buried.
Yeah. Like, it's fun and, well, not fun. It's dark, it's intense, but it keeps you entertained throughout. And there's something about Anthony Hopkins and doing car movies, because the last Anthony Hopkins movie I saw was literally Transformers.
I was going to say, it was like, you just said car movies and Anthony Hopkins, and one just sprung to mind as to why that's not a good idea.
Hey,
yeah,
it was the best
so
script
good.
he ever read, okay? It was the best script he ever read. I saw him say that in an interview.
God. Oh my God. So, I mean, at least Michael Caine's just like, I haven't seen Jaws the Revenge, but I've seen The House That It Built My Mother. Like, at least you're honest about that. Like, my God, you're saying the best script ever. Shit, Anthony Hopkins.
But yeah, like, honestly, it's so worth a watch. It's definitely worth, you know what? I would go out and say it's worth a VOD rental for sure. Maybe not a buy, but worth a rental for sure.
I'm very curious to see it because I love simple premises like that. Like Phone Booth is one of my all-time favorite single location simple premise films. It's just like, I love that you can get sucked into those stories really quick if the performances are there. And if you're telling me that Skarsgård is going back and forth between Hopkins, I mean, oh hell yeah, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
All right. I just went. Who wants to go? I mean, I got another one, but anybody else?
I'm gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Okay. I'll make this.
Okay.
Yeah. What is your mic working? I can't hear you. Wait, you're on mute. You're on mute.
All right, I'll throw one out because I'm not sure. It's a little off kilter for this crowd, but it also came out last year in the U.S., but we only got it in Canada in the last couple of months. But it's a documentary called "We Kill for Love." It's an exhaustive look.
Oh, yes.
It's an exhaustive look at 90s straight-to-video erotic thrillers that came out in the aftermath of Basic Instinct. It is
the best things ever.
It is surprisingly deep in terms of like the meaning. Like there's a real kind of focus on the feminist read of some of these movies that are just kind of dopey and oddly exploitative because they're dark, they're violent, they have beautiful naked women in it and simulated sex. So it should be a no-brainer, but there's actually, I guess, a lot of brain behind it when we're kind of analyzing it from social, historical, I guess cultural point of view. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It was a zeitgeist at the time. Like people don't realize that there was a time where erotic thrillers ruled the video market,
right?
And they were being made specifically for Skinamax and all this stuff.
There's a needle. There was a needle they were trying to thread where you go into the video store. You don't want to look depraved enough that you go behind the curtain to the full out hardcore porn. But you want something a little more salacious. This was your sweet spot. This is where you went because at least you could say, "Hey, it looks like a good thriller." But and everyone knew you were watching it for the naked babes. But this was a huge market in so much as 80s video was made by horror. This was a huge market in and of itself. It was a cottage industry. They were cranking these out, and there was a formula to it. And Anthony Penta is really good at sort of exploring what was that formula, why was it so popular, why did it work, and it features a lot of the directors and actors who were involved in making those films.
and Ray, yeah,
it's a love
Fredo
fest
and
for
Ray's
these.
Great addition.
Exactly, it's a love fest for these movies, which were, I think, kind of seen as these kind of throwaway, disposable things, but maybe are deeper and maybe are worth a second look. So I love the context that We Kill for Love brought to this largely forgotten genre, and it's a good watch, and I like that. I like trying to reclaim things and dusting them off and trying to understand them in new contexts, and that's what We Kill for Love does really, really well.
I recently became aware of this, oddly enough, because of Dave and Hen. They talked about it in one of their most recent
okay, there you go.
Episodes. What was it you were talking about?
Which one are you referring to?
We Kill for Love. Hen was talking about it.
Yeah, because he watched it recently. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm dying to because I've seen the trailer for it. I love a lot of those movies. It is,
and it's 3 hours or something.
It's 3 hours. Yeah, it's 3 hours. Yeah, it's 3 hours, and it does not, it does not leave any stone unturned. And I mean, it's, to add to what Adam said, it's a very significant time, not only in cinema, but just in the zeitgeist of the world and where we were at and how Basic Instinct released the floodgates for this because you had a major motion picture blockbuster that was an erotic thriller that was on the big screen. So when people realized that this was something that people wanted, they cornered the market with writers and directors and just pumped these out like they were insane. I mean, some of these were shot no joke in 2 weeks, if not less.
Yeah, and like pretty much the same
Yeah, like
area of
it's something that's
California on
definitely
the
on my
same
radar.
sets with the same music with the same actors.
Oh yeah, same music. I mean, there's a song. So Hen and I watch a lot of these, Adam. So like I've watched a lot of 90s erotic thrillers. They're my favorite genre for one.
Nice.
But we watched one that was called "Don't Sleep Alone," and it was Roger Corman produced, and it's a pretty salacious film. But what the funny thing is, it features this song by this band that is Billy and Vicky Wu, which is called "Welcome to the Dark Side," and this song made it into all these erotic thrillers that Corman had produced and whatnot. And it's just like one of those things again that it's just like you learn these interesting things. Like there were things specifically made for these movies that were entire like soundtracks and whatnot. That it's crazy. Like I mean, I love the erotic thriller. And if you're curious about it, that documentary, it's high on my list right now. But if you're curious about it, that documentary is said to have been one of the best.
It's a good place to start if you want to learn more. Yeah.
Yeah, which is always the best way.
That's probably what I'm going to end up doing because I love documentaries. Like the most recently long documentary I watched was the Doc of Chucky, which was done by the same person who did Crystal Lake Memories, Never Sleep Again, stuff like that. And yeah, this is definitely on my radar of cool stuff to watch. In fact, I fell asleep the other night listening to Crystal Lake Memories, and by the time I woke up, it was still going.
Yeah, it does that. It does that. It remembers you fondly, and it's just like, hey, you're here. We're talking about part 9 now.
Yeah, that's exactly when I woke up, by the way.
That's funny.
Was part 9. But yeah, it's like, I love a good documentary. I know there's a new John Wick one
Wick
I
is
haven't
Pain.
seen yet.
Wick is Pain.
Yes.
Yeah, Wick is Pain. It's supposed to be phenomenal.
But yeah, other than that, Ken, what do you got for a suggestion as we begin to wind things down somewhat?
So this is one of those movies that is 100% my jam, and I fully understand that people hate this genre, and in some ways really shat on this movie a lot, and that is The Amateur.
Was that the one with Mr. Robot?
Amateur. Get it right,
Amateur.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Mr. Robot. Yeah.
Yes. To answer your...
This
Remy Malik. Well, I think what turned a lot of people off, and I could be wrong, but that it was PG-13. I think people were expecting an ARB with how like hard the trailer looked, so I think that's what might have turned people off.
I loved this movie from moment one to the final scene, and it's you're watching an unconventional man being a spy. The person you do not expect to be the spy and isn't really good at being a spy in traditional sense. Like he can't shoot a gun. He's not gonna. He can't kill someone directly with a gun. And that is the whole premise. Is he is not the best person for this job. He is 100% an amateur. And you're going like, okay, he can't do it the normal way, so he's going to do it his way. And his way is so interesting, and it plays like a pulp movie. It's a pulp novel movie.
It looks that way. I'm very curious of it because, for one, I like Remy a lot, and two, I feel like he hasn't gotten to do this yet. Because like I've seen a couple episodes of Mr. Robot, and I've seen Bohemian Rhapsody and whatnot too. But like, I remember he's in an action movie.
I remember seeing Rami in Twilight, and I literally went, "This dude is gonna be huge."
He was in Twilight?
Yes.
Who the fuck was he in Twilight?
One of the Volturi?
He's one of the cousins.
Jeez,
he's in like one damn scene.
Oh wow. Holy shit, there's some fucking trivia.
He's in one single scene, and that single scene I'm like, he's gonna be something. Like
wow.
I was just like, he is so unconventionally a leading man that it works so well.
The first thing I saw Remy Malik in that really caught my attention, this is before Bohemian Rhapsody, is last summer, I want to say, my wife was watching Band of Brothers.
Mm.
And seeing his performance in that, thinking, ooh, and I'm like, that's Mr. fucking Robot? What the fuck? Have I been sleeping on this guy for fucking years? So yeah, that's really cool. Like, honestly, when I started to see the trailers for this movie, genuinely, I'm thinking, this looks fucking cool. Like, this is like the beginning of like some fucked up role-playing game. Like, I'm fucking into this. This looks wicked.
And as of this recording, it's literally coming to streaming tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Well,
I don't even know whether we got this locally. Like, I don't remember seeing this.
It's a Fox. It's a Fox release.
Yeah. It was a wide release, but it didn't get a lot of noise. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this for Remy because, you cast him as a Bond villain. Of course you cast him as a Bond villain. Like, are you trying to surprise me? Like, so when I saw that he was doing, like, an action movie like this, like, spy thriller, I was just like, ooh, this could be really cool for him. So I'm definitely going to see it soon.
And this is a remake. This is a remake of an 80s film.
Oh, that totally tracks. Wow. Was it called The Amateur when it came out?
Yep. Same name. You cannot find the original. By the way, it is not available anywhere.
Is that a challenge, sir?
Go ahead and try. Go ahead and try. I tried. I could not find it.
Okay, if Ken can't find it, then Hen can find it. If Hen can't find it, then Alex can find it.
He might be able to. I was just saying, there's I have like 3 websites that I can go to possibly track it down. But because with it being 80s, there's definitely one that might have it, but it's a big might.
Alex is my bag man. He'll find it if it exists.
I mean, it's a Canadian film. It was literally funded by the Canadian government. The original.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, a lot of Canuxploitation stuff's are actually a lot of fun. Rolling Vengeance is one of my all-time favorite Canuxploitations.
Yeah, but and also Lawrence Fishburne, he's in very little of the movie, but holy shit, he makes a statement.
He's just doing that now. I mean, Larry Fishburne's always been old, but he's just having fun now, and I love seeing that for him.
Oh yeah, he's just having fun. He's just like, how much you paying me? All right.
What do you want? Old Morpheus or something else? So this will be my question to the room as we begin to round things out here. What are your dishonorable mentions for the year? What is something that you really had high hopes for, but failed to live up, either in a small way or a spectacular way? I'm going to let you guys percolate on it, because I have 2 that I want to mention here. And one of these you probably won't see coming, though you might. There were 2, and they both came out in January. One of them was something, when I saw it advertised, I was like, okay, this looks kind of cool. This is a new approach to it. I love the original from the 1940s, I want to say. And that was the remake of The Wolfman. And I saw this with my buddy Liam, and the whole time we're sitting there, we're like, what the fuck is going on? And our mouths were agape at times, just with the giant leaps in logic in this. And it felt like this movie was just so terribly miscast, where like the relationship between the 2 leads, I thought they were supposed to be father and daughter. No, they are definitely not that. It's weird. It's weird chemistry and weird casting, and I don't like it. The special effects are terrible. The movie just drags. It has 1 or 2 interesting moments where it explores lycanthropy as like a disease as opposed to a supernatural transformation, but just, it's goofy, it's weird, it's stupid. I don't like it. And
I'm the complete opposite. I fucking love this movie.
I still haven't seen it.
You are a robot and a clone. Get out.
I still haven't seen it, and I've heard that I'm probably gonna like it. So I'm curious to check it out. I feel because I have been putting it off because it just does have a lot of heavy negativity with it from reviews.
Yeah.
But
I love Leigh Whannell as a director, and I don't know what it is.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but his kind of filmmaking just clicks with me. It's the same thing with creator director Brain Fart.
I'm not familiar with him.
Oh, Brain Fart, sure. Brain Fart, yeah.
Brain Fart. I see. I like the pre Brain Fart years, but like when he got into heavy Brain Fart, man, that's some of my favorites.
Gareth Edwards.
Who shall now be known on this show as Brain Fart.
Brain Fart. Bro, you just don't see Brain Fart like I do. He's really creative. He just has to squeeze out the ideas slowly.
Yeah, so it kind of squeaks out, you might say.
But yeah, no, Gareth Edwards and Lee Winnell, those are two directors that just kind of, I just click with their kind of filmmaking and their kind of mental ideas and the stories they like to tell. And it just clicked with me. And to me, this is, Wolfman is toying with the idea of a man losing sense of self. And how horrifying that is.
It has some interesting ideas. I just would much rather slam my personhood in a car door for an hour and a half. The other movie that really disappointed, and I have to preface this. I like the idea this is based on. Plus, I kind of indirectly work on this IP. So, Star Trek Section 31. This is a streaming movie that came out on Paramount Plus in January, and this is supposed to be Star Trek's version of the CIA, the Black Ops.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. So Section 31 was first introduced in Star Trek DS9 as, like I said, the really heavy-duty people who exist outside of Starfleet intelligence. They take on the most dangerous missions to protect the Federation, to do what is necessary when others won't.
Personified by William Sadler, too. The great William Sadler.
Yeah, exactly. And in this one, we get it personified
Damn it, I didn't
by...
know he was in it. Oh, man, now I have to watch it.
But now we get Michelle Yeoh as Emperor Giorgio, who's now been taken back in time by the Guardian of Forever from Star Trek Discovery Season 3, I want to say. So now she's back. Yeah, so now she's back in time, and now she's in charge of Section 31. She has to gather together a team of Starfleet's worst to do something very vitally important to save the future of the Federation. And what you think should be a high-tech, spy thriller ends up as this goofy-esque Guardians of the Galaxy needle drop.
It's so everything I've heard about it is so bad.
Such a misfire.
And it sucks.
It's such a misfire.
It is because like Section 31 is the one part of the Star Trek mythos I've been very fortunate I've been able to write pieces of this in some of the stuff I've written as a TTRPG freelancer. I love the idea of the CIA, the NSA, the Black Ops stuff, the stuff that never gets declassified for like 50 years, right? But that's not what Star Trek is. Star Trek is hope. Star Trek is we can be better because we choose to be. Diplomacy should always come first, but sometimes that's not always the case. Section 31 doesn't do that. And as much as I like Michelle Yeoh and some interesting ideas in Section 31, there's one character who literally exists inside of this robotic biosuit. And there's a throwaway line where they say something along the lines of like, oh, he has processophobia or something. And then they're like, what does that mean? Like, he thinks he's the suit. And he kind of quips back, no, I'm more than what this suit is. I am beyond it. And it's almost a take on disability. I'm thinking, all right, that's interesting. And then this character very promptly dies in the next 5 seconds. And it's so many missed opportunities where I question why this script went in this direction. And I wanted it to be so much more. And I was just profoundly disappointed. So if you really want to see really good Section 31, go watch Star Trek DS9. And then you can get some stuff through, like, I think Strange New Worlds and some other parts of the mythos, maybe even Star Trek Discovery with Control. But still, it's vastly disappointing. So who wants to go next for this year's dishonorable mentions?
I will go because this one really fucking hurt. I'm gonna go with Until Dawn because Until Dawn had such an amazing game that I got sucked into and have played multiple times. Had such a good story in the game and characters and everything, and I appreciate what they tried to do with the element of taking it from game to movie, but it was just it was fine at best, and I really wanted to like it more. It was very interesting to add in the restarting the night after you die and whatnot. Like there were things I liked about it, but overall, it didn't feel like anything new. It didn't feel like anything fresh. Even the ending kind of still leaves some questions with actually what was going on and whatnot with Peter Stormare's character explaining a couple things at the end. He kind of contradicted himself, I would say, but it's not necessarily not worth a watch, but it was very disappointing to a point that if you're a fan of the game and you're curious about the movie, I would probably wait until you can watch it streaming or very cheap rental.
It'll be on Netflix in about another 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I would honestly not be surprised. Yeah, Until Dawn had a lot of cool pieces with it. I love some of the designs on it, especially with the way that the town slowly starts coming back at one point with each death. Like, I really like little things like that. It's got really neat elements. But as far as an entirely baked, beautiful cake, the dough is still a bit soggy as we take it out of the oven.
So I saw the Weeknd's movie.
The Weeknd's movie.
They tried so hard.
It's fascinatingly bad, is the best way to describe it. For the most part, I was in hate boner territory for most of the movie, and then it started going off the wall, and I'm just like, oh, now you're just fascinatingly bad. Now you're riffably bad. Because I'm just going to read my review. This went from pure autistic self-indulgence to absolute insanity. Artistically devoid of general artistic merit visually, it feels like a music video gone way too far. I totally get what it's trying to accomplish, but it doesn't succeed, and it isn't as deep as it thinks it is. What happens when an artist loses their mojo? Apparently this insanity. I'm more fascinated by how bad this is.
Yikes.
Interesting.
This isn't the monkey one, right? This is something else, right?
That's Here Comes Tomorrow.
Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did hear a review of it.
So weird.
Somebody said that The Weeknd is doing what Pete Davidson was doing, which is just trying to find like some format to tell his life story over and over again. It was just he's tried it as a TV show.
When there's an entire scene where Jenna Ortega is basically giving a dissertation on The Weeknd's music.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like a giant wank fest.
Oh my god, that sounds.
At that point.
Wow, that's nothing further, Your Honor. I got shit on that. Oh my god. Oof.
I just had to see it just because I'm like, this is so weird, and fascinated at how weird it is.
Yeah,
and I saw it with a buddy of mine, and both of us were like, "That's just fascinatingly bad." It was bad from the start, but like it just went into such weird territories that I was just like, "Oh, this is just odd."
Does he go all in on his acting again, like he did in The Idol?
Yes and no.
Okay, because sometimes I feel like, and no shade to The Weeknd, because I love his music.
I will admit there is a horror sequence in this movie. You see a bit of it in the trailer. It basically the elevator opens this giant dark room. That whole sequence is actually genuinely an interesting horror sequence in a movie that has nothing else going for it.
I just sometimes I get the feeling that he thinks that he's better than he is.
Oh yes, 100%.
There were moments in The Idol that he had acting moments in The Idol where I was just like, that's a bit of an odd take on that, but okay.
You think you are deeper than you actually are.
Yeah, that's I get that feeling from a lot of his acting. I mean, I love his music, but yeah, I've got that feeling from his acting. But yeah, it wasn't one necessarily on my list after seeing the trailer.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is only watch if it's free.
Well, speaking of watch if it's free and over the top Wankfest, I think I wasn't expecting a lot from it, but I was ultimately kind of disappointed in it too. The electric state, the big budget. It's this Netflix movie about robots with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown.
Made by the Russo
brothers. I mean, it's no wonder they're kind of retreating back into familiar territory with going back to the Avengers. But I mean, it was written by Marcus and McFreely, who did the Captain America movies and the last two Avengers movies. Music by Alan Silvestri, edited by Jeffrey Ford, who edited the Avengers movies. It's like up and down. Like every lesson they learned from big budget studio filmmaking applied just badly to something that just it's so overcooked. The world building is all over the place. Chris Pratt. There's
a critic I follow.
Yeah.
There's a critic I follow that basically has coined it that the Russo brothers only know how to do falling action. They don't know how to do rising action.
No, it's so bad. It's so like so underwritten in places. Like the character work is underwritten, but the world building is overwritten. Chris Pratt is like he's got to be in his 40s now, like on the high side of 50, and he's this seems like it's 10 years too late for him. Millie Bobby Brown, I get it. She's a Netflix
45, by the way.
Oh, is he 45? Okay, well he's over the curve and heading into the half century mark. But I understand Millie Bobby Brown is a Netflix institution because of Stranger Things, but this she has to be able to get something better than this. It is so silly. It is.
See, the thing is, her Netflix film Damsel was the #1 movie on Netflix.
Dying to see that movie.
I don't mind Damsel,
I need to look at it before I cancel Netflix.
It's enjoyable though. I don't mind Damsel. I feel like that was a good use of her, and even those like Enola Holmes films, I think she is good in those.
Yes,
but nobody is good in the electric state. It's just I've never, like, aside from that scene in The Dark Knight, I've never seen someone set a big pile of money on fire. It's
damn. If that's not a
You go
letterbox
to
review out there, it needs to be.
But like Netflix is the home of
setting money
watching
on fire.
money fire. Yeah,
Adam, I'm stealing that. Like that's like the next movie I see that's like that's bad. That's supposed to be amazing. I'm literally using that. I'm just telling you that right now, so it's documented on this podcast.
That's fine.
That's amazing. All right, guys. So last question before we get out of here. What is the one movie you're looking forward to that maybe isn't a super tentpole blockbuster for the end of the year? I guess to kind of give you an idea, for me, the one that I'm really looking forward to probably later on this year, because I think it might be halfway decent. I just got to make sure I'm getting the date right on it. Is I am really hoping that Black Phone 2 is really good. I watched the first
I'm
one.
sold.
I watched the first one in the middle of the night, like I think it was sometime last year, and I was in a bit of a depression, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what? I really dug that. I really liked the performances in that movie, and it was just like, this is my jam. I really liked it. So I'm really hoping that comes out successful later on this year. Honorable mention, Mortal Kombat 2, holding out until I see a proper trailer, though. All right, Adam, what are you looking forward to? Then we'll go to Ken, and then we'll finish out with Dave.
I'm looking forward to a lot. I think my top two are probably Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. That trailer just came out. I am really looking forward to seeing del Toro cook with that. It's one of a couple of Frankenstein films that's on the way. The one is Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, which is based on the Bride of Frankenstein, but we won't see that until next year. And then in terms of like art housey things, I'm keeping an eye open for Blue Moon, which is the next Linklater movie, which is set the night that Oklahoma opened on Broadway. I remember one of Linklater's sort of lesser appreciated ones is Me and Orson Welles, which is against the backdrop of Orson Welles' production of I think it's of Julius Caesar. And I like that a lot. I'm hopeful the combination of Linklater and theater, plus he's got Ethan Hawke back for this one. I think that lines up pretty nicely in terms of possibilities. So those are the two I'm kind of excited about.
All right, there, Ken, what do you got?
So I am trying to find it. Dave, why don't you go and I will come back.
Happily. I'm I don't want to put all my eggs in a basket, but you're telling me in 2025 we are getting a Running Man remake done by Edgar Wright and shot by Chung Hoon Chung. I'm really, really like looking forward to that movie, and I haven't seen really much about it yet, and I'm fine with that. Honestly, if I don't see a single trailer and just go see it at this point, I would be content. The Running Man is one of those movies that I can put on anytime, and no matter what, I will usually walk away smiling from it because it's just, you can't regret putting time into watching Running Man ever. So the fact that Edgar Wright is taking a crack at it, and Edgar Wright has like made some of my favorite movies, that is definitely one. And I would say to cap that with the second one, I'm really, really looking forward to Weapons, which is this really dark-looking horror film that involves kids, and they're really putting their money where their mouth is on this advertising. So I'm really looking forward to a horror film that unsettles me, because kids laughing in demonic manners and or just acting like kids when they shouldn't be in the nighttime really gets under my skin. So I'm hoping this one actually like unsettles me to a level that I really enjoy it.
I love it. All right, Ken, bring us home, buddy.
So, I'm going with PTA's One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks absolutely insanely fun. PTA doing a comedy for... He hasn't done a comedy in a long time. And also, just as a small little side note, I'm also a backer on the Kickstarter, but Chris Stuckman's Shelby Oaks is coming out this year as well.
Nice.
Fantastic. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this edition of RAM. So once again, thank you for joining us on this Father's Day weekend. We're going to have a lot more stuff going out through the summer. We are still planning on doing our specials over on Loose Cannon involving some summertime picks and also walking across the entirety of Middle Earth as we do our trek through the summer. On that, we also should have some other stuff across some of our other podcasts as we begin to wind down for a bit of the summer hiatus here at Twig. But don't worry, there will always be something fresh served up, kind of like Factor or one of those other meal delivery services that gets delivered to your door for impossibly low prices, and I don't know why. Perhaps a deal with Satan. Anyway, from the lovely city of Guelph, we have been
Adam A. Donaldson.
From Ohio,
David Denoyer of Do You Even Movie?
New Jersey,
Ken from This Anime.
and I've been Mike the Birdman saying, be kind, rewind, but most importantly, be excellent to yourselves. Have a fantastic week ahead, guys. We'll see you guys again real soon, right here on thisweekingeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at thisweekingeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@thisweekingeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
Lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on chumbacasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at chumbacasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's chumbacasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.